Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to discuss Trevor Noah's stand up comedy special on Netflix. It's called I Wish You Would. And one thing I can say, I really appreciate Trevor Noah and his insight and his humor because he never punches down and it's not crass. I think because he's done The Daily Show for the past 7 years, which I'm still pretty sad that he chose to left, but I completely understand why. But, he's one of my favorite comedians, so he'll definitely be missed on The Daily Show. But I think working that craft, I can see his progression, and his humor is a lot more polished and refined than in his earlier days as a comedian, which is, great, right? We should all consistently strive to improve and grow, mature. And I can see that his humor has definitely evolved over that time. So, this stand up special was taped in Toronto, in Canada. And as you guys can see, it's a sold out arena. And the topics that he chose to discuss for this stand up special were learning German. So his father is a white Swiss man from Switzerland, and his mother is a black South African woman, and she is Xhosa, which is the language with the clicks in it. I hope I did that right. But yeah, his mom is named Patricia. He actually has a stand up special dedicated to her. It's called Son of Patricia, which is very sweet. And one of the things that I know that he's doing in the near future is he is going to turn his book, Born a Crime, into a movie starring Lupita Nyong'o. So she's going to play his mom. But this special talked about him learning German and his experience with that, which he, of course, is a master storyteller, but it definitely goes goes a little differently than he thought it would, and it goes a little awry. He also talks about speaking ill of the dead and his insight on that. His commentary is really funny on that. He judges people in horror movies. He talks about ordering food, so specifically Indian food in Scotland. So he spent some time in Scotland, and Indian is one of my favorite cuisines as well. I love curries. I love the bread, naan. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Those are the two, the spices, samosas. I love samosas, which are little potato, like they kind of look like crab ragoons. Like they're little, they have a fried outer shell, and they have like potatoes and peas inside. Which I'm not a huge fan of peas, so I'm surprised I like them. But I really enjoy samosas, and yeah, I love the Indian spices and the. As you guys can tell, I'm hungry. But yeah, Trevor, he first talks about how he fell in love with Indian food growing up as a child in South Africa, which differs from his experience that he told us before about the tacos, which really quickly, he said that before he came to the United States, he had never had a taco before because in South Africa, there's not a lot of Mexicans, right? So he just wasn't exposed to Mexican food. And so he never had a taco until he came to the US, and the first taco he had was in LA, a taco truck. But anyway, yeah. So he learns about Indian food. There are a lot of Indians in South Africa, he says, and he grew up with a really close friend that he went to school with. And so they traded lunches. And he said, that the spices were extremely, rich and he just really enjoyed the Indian food. And so now when he goes around the world traveling for his stand up, he always tries to seek out the most authentic Indian restaurant that he can find. And so he goes into this really hilarious story about the time that he was in Scotland. And I don't want to ruin it for you guys, so you have to watch it for yourself, but it's it's pretty funny. I really do. I really enjoy that a lot of Trevor's humor is very self-deprecating, but he has a very keen self-awareness and a very high level of emotional intelligence. So one thing I notice as well is that he looks at things from a global aspect, right? And so just and I'm mentioning that because he incorporates that into telling his story about him ordering the Indian food while he was in Scotland. But I really enjoyed this stand-up special a lot. I think that it's really, really good. You guys should definitely check it out. He talks about, he doesn't address why he left the Daily Show. That's, I guess, one thing that a lot of people said that they were hoping that he would. And I was hoping that he would as well. I know he said that he wanted to focus more so on, traveling and seeing the world and visiting with his friends and his family. And I completely understand that, right? Like he said that, 7 years at the Daily Show was long enough. And I understand it. I think the pandemic, which he brings up that as well, but it changed a lot of people's mindset on just, what things are important, what things are not important. Like now, a lot of people really prefer working remotely, and I'm one of them. I completely agree with that. I think that, you know, if we can be productive at our computers at home, then why not take advantage of the fact that we do live in, an information age, or we have access to technology? Like, we don't have to have that stress of commuting to the office back and forth, or possibly getting COVID, or, just the stress of driving and road rage and office politics and stuff like that. I mean, for me, I can say I know some people do enjoy going into the office, but for me, I really enjoy working remotely. And Trevor said that, that really the global pandemic, working from home while he was bored in his apartment. And so now he wants to get out and travel. And I completely get that. But it changed his mindset on work as a whole, right? Because our lives are so much more important than just working, you know? Like, yes, productivity is important, but we're human beings, right? First, like, not human doings. And I do understand that a lot of the world looks at the American work ethic as just like crazy because it's nonstop here. So I guess that's why a lot of people were questioning his decision. But I'm here for it. I really enjoyed, like I said, the comedy special. And if I was worth, his net worth is $100 million. If I was worth, well, I'm worth, I'm priceless. But if my net worth were upwards of $100 million, I wouldn't want to work every day either. You know what I mean? Like, so, and the fact that you can still access everybody basically in the world via, social media, the Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that. You really don't need to be at Comedy Central or, on the Daily Show in order to continuously have access to his audience. So I enjoyed the stand up. I think he did a really good job as always. It was very, very funny. You guys, please check it out. That face is hilarious. But yeah, go to Netflix, check it out. Let me know in the comments what your favorite part was. And please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I will talk with you lovely people later. Take care. Bye.